Damn! Greetings, fellow Armchair Imagineers! Tiki here.
And pie.
And folks, depression and anxiety has been kicking my ass today. But I don't care, because I'm going to come in and be the most cheerful, goddamn happy person I can possibly be. Because that's my coping mechanism for stress.
Ditto.
All right. So, Pi, we've got a lot to go over, not a lot of time. Let's see. So, tonight we are covering two different projects. We are also doing our first live elimination of the season, which is going to be very suspenseful, as well as giving out the coveted, the incredible Golden Dole Whip.
The Golden Dole Whip?
It sounds nice, but it's actually like super unedible. I really wouldn't recommend eating it.
I said the same thing. I believe Outbound made the comment like that. Anything is edible at least one time if you're determined enough.
It's literally just like solid gold that's been crunched down into the form of a soft serve. There's not even any pineapple flavor to it. It's just gold metal flavor.
No, yeah, it's not made of gold. It's just flavored to taste like gold. It's not good.
Oh, God. All right. Okay. So, yeah, let's get things started. Let's start with the bathroom project, a.k.a. the decompression zone. Is that what you're calling it?
Yeah, it was the D zones. That's a phrase that Disney at least briefly used. I don't know if they're still using it. And
Disneyland took a look at the real estate available at Disneyland in particular, and we're like, ha! Ha 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 ha! Fuck you!
That's fair. Ooh,
okay, this is, I was kind of trying to think of what we could do for our general chit-chat thing. That's going to be it. Right now, we're going to go over all the quiet places at Disneyland that have since either they've gotten rid of or have been just fucking ruined by influencers just sharing them too much, all right?
Yeah.
Oh boy, this is going to be fun! Okay, Main Street Cinema. Obviously it's still there, and I like that it's still there. I feel like too many people know about it now, as an out-of-the-way spot.
That makes sense. I can see that. For me, I'm going to start off with the Tangled restrooms anytime they have the photo op going.
Same thing with Snow White's Wishing Well at Disneyland. And you guys have the luxury of space over in Florida, which is something Disneyland very much doesn't have. So get that WDW shit the fuck out of here. We're talking just about Disneyland now. I'm sorry.
Okay, fair enough.
Coke Corner, I brought this up before. It used to be that if you passed by and the piano player was playing, you'd be like, oh, sweet. Pleasant little surprise. Let me go and take a seat and get a watch. You will not find a seat unless you get there like an hour before the show time. Hands down.
Mm-hmm.
Disney Gallery, done. Court of Angels, done. Am I making my damn point?
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
Pi, you seem almost kind of frightened by my my passion here.
No, I love it.
All right.
The weird raised area next to Small World, they used to do a Merida meet and greet.
That was a nice one. Yeah, I know kind of what you're talking about. That whole area is just kind of, I believe it's just kind of considered the Small World Mall. It's always been kind of like a weird sort of dead zone at that park because it's almost kind of, it's just like, it's about the size of a football field roughly and just kind of have to walk it to get to Small World. Anyways.
Crazy. You guys could have your Small World right on the edge of a busy path. It seems like that'd be more convenient.
Jesus Christ.
Next to Peter Pan.
It is next to Toontown, which is getting a lot more foot traffic lately. So, you know, there's that.
Yeah.
I've made the mistake of trying to get onto Small World right as that damn show in the Fantasyland Theater is ending. Yeah, no,
Oh.
it's the worst time to try and do Small World. Anyways, kids.
So now y'all know.
That
Sounds
what did
like
the
they're
team?
lacking in spaces to just kind of relax and unwind a little bit, preferably one with a snack stand and a bathroom nearby. Like a D
Right.
zone, perhaps.
So what did the teams come up with?
Well, I'm going to double check I have the right names here before I get started. Team Birds did a Flomecano in Toy Story Land, where it was a sandbox with some volcano toys, a Flome volcano, and a nice seating area, and some popsicles. And meanwhile, Team Boats, who actually posted second this time, and I believe that's the first time that's ever happened, made an Ant-Man themed restroom with some Bugs Land homages for Avengers Campus in California Adventure.
And I gotta say, I think both teams did a really good job. I think we
Oh,
can
yeah.
pretty much talk about both of these concurrently since they're both kind of pretty small.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the Toy Story Land one, I definitely think out of the two actual areas, granted I haven't been to Avengers Campus yet. I've heard not so great things about it.
Yeah.
But Toy Story Land absolutely needs something like this. Like that,
Mhm.
like I actually genuinely like Toy Story Land. I'm not anti Toy Story Land like some people are. I think in the evenings it's a really fun land to be in.
Oh, yeah.
But
The lights are so great.
yeah, it absolutely needs something like this. It needs an area that can kind of like, because as it stands now, it is so high energy all the time in that land.
Oh, yeah.
And I really like the concept of resurrecting like an old 90s like toy line that you used to see all kinds of commercials about. Basically, my thought process for this project was it was essentially like, you know how when you were a kid in the 90s, you saw a toy commercial and the toys just looked unfathomably cool. And then when you actually get the toys in real life, it's just nowhere near as cool as it is in the commercial. Because, you know, the commercials have professional lighting and sets and all that shit.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like this was not just the representation of the Flomecano, but like a representation of what the Flomecano would look like in a commercial.
Yes. It's fun. It's exciting. It's over the top. It's not real, but like it feels like it could be.
Mm-hmm. I do agree with your criticism that I feel like maybe there's just one thing too many here, because with this sort of project, you really run the risk of it's a fine line to draw from something like this versus a subland. And this borderline feels like it gets into subland territory here.
Yeah, like it's supposed to be set apart, and both of them kind of did almost like a subland, but it just one less element, or the elements to kind of flow together a bit more, because each thing kind of was its own thing.
Mm-hmm. Whereas I feel like transitioning to the other project, first of all, I mean, I'm not one of those weird people that just like obsesses over a Bug's Land, and they're out there. You've probably seen them.
They could be in this room right now.
Looking at you, Joey Cat. Calling him out by name.
Yeah.
Has anyone seen Joey Cat online? Does anyone know who I'm referring to in the chat? Let me know. Anyways. That being said, I was a fan of A Bug's Land, just from a purely aesthetic point of view. I really like the forced perspective in that land. I am definitely a proponent of Heimlich's Choo Choo Train being like almost like the poster child for like a perfect Disney Sea ticket. I mean, that attraction is just like so rock solid.
Oh, I loved it.
And honestly, everything I've seen from Avengers Campus, I've not been there yet, I will say that Avengers Campus looked so underwhelming that it's a new fucking Disneyland that I had the chance to go to back last year, and I just did not bother to go to California Adventure that trip. So, like, what does that tell you about my hype levels for this new land when I literally had the opportunity to go to it, but I didn't take it? Which reminds me, Pie! You know what I'm going to ask?
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen them?
No.
You're sleeping on it, man. You're sleeping on it.
You're right. How could I not go and see the Smell-O-Fins? They're on parade.
Oh my god.
You're right. I should.
You know what? I actually do legitimately kind of like the scented candle stuff. Who wants to bet that when I actually do get over to see the Smell-O-Fins, assuming I'm in Disney World before they go away, which is, that's an assumption. I might actually end up really liking them. Who knows?
I like scavenger hunts and I like scents. Honestly, if it wasn't for the connection to like a multi-level marketing scheme, I probably think it was a cute little thing to add to a land.
Dude, again, if it was connected to the Magic Candle Company, forget about it. I'd be legitimately excited about it.
But is Joey Kent the guy who wants to bring back the Flick meet and greet? So
no.
Ace recognize it. No, okay. Never mind then.
And it's Joey Kett. Cette. Joey Kett, not Joey Kent.
Kett. Got it.
But he does very much want to bring back all of A Bug's Land. He is very upset that A Bug's Land is gone. Like, to an unhealthy, very parasocial degree.
That's probably a little less good.
Okay, but I definitely think that it's a really interesting compare and contrast here. Pie, I do actually think that this time around you made the right choice for the first time in 3 projects. I really like both of these. I think that the Volcano project had more going for it as far as like actual active stuff going on with the project.
Oh yeah, love the splash pad.
That being said, I love the history that they incorporate into Avengers Campus and the whole idea that like A Bug's Land would be something that people genuinely miss and could be used with the Ant-Man character to make an area like this. Like, I honestly thought that was a stroke of genius, dude. I really did. I thought that was just
tying into the story of the restaurants. The reason there's trash here is because it's where they dump their food waste. It probably isn't because of implied rock walls. Not to get off topic, but Universal Studios has a themed rock wall in the New York area to climb up. And Islands of Adventure, there's a themed rock wall in Jurassic Park. Pergron, I was this close to making this project a themed rock wall for Epic Universe. I went with the sing-along instead, but it was this close.
By the way, the official Super Nintendo World announcement for Epic Universe is coming tomorrow.
Ooh.
So I'm stoked about that.
I wonder what's going to be into the land we've already seen.
No, you know what? Yeah, I know, but
they got to do it at some point.
Yeah, it's still cool. Like I'm looking forward to seeing footage of the Donkey Kong ride. I'm looking forward to maybe a confirmation that the Donkey Kong ride is going to be opening with the park, which I believe we don't actually know that. I could be wrong about that.
Point. I just kind of assumed there wouldn't be anything in construction when it opened, but possibly not.
And the big thing with Epic Universe that I need right now is I need an opening date, dude. I desperately need an opening date.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Anyways, so yeah, I think that really what it comes down to is that the Bugs Land stuff very much felt like interconnected with each other.
Yeah, whereas, it didn't feel like fan service pandering. It felt natural.
Right. And the foam volcano thing, it didn't feel like fan service pandering either. But it did feel like more of like it's a standalone attraction that you can chill at, if that makes sense.
Yes, which I wouldn't have had a problem with if that was all there was. But then we have that plus a splash pad plus a big like sandy seating area, which I mentioned that I think the sandy seating area is very cool. I'm a little worried about the practicality of a beach to relax on in the park.
Right.
Just one too many things. Plus, the presentation on boats really helped too with the whole trip report.
That's true.
I don't know if you were following along to know this, but Space was actually like in DCA that day. Those photos were his.
Oh, nice. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm Muppets fan. It's rough, it's coarse, it gets everywhere. It has to be said. I can't hear sand without thinking of that now. That's difficult when I walk on the beach.
I love the beach. I will say though, I did take a San Diego vacation with and the hotel we had was right on the beach. That was great to have the beach right there. Don't get me wrong, but it definitely was a pain in the ass to have to like make sure that my feet were like totally showered before I walked back into the hotel, or else, yeah, the whole hotel room was just going to be just Sand City, USA.
I love sand if I can stay on sand. I hate sand once I'm not on sand, but I've been on sand.
Exactly. All right. So, yeah, again, we're covering two different projects, so I don't want to dwell on this one too much, and it's a smaller scale project.
Yes.
So, anything else we need to cover here for Project 7, Expedition 7?
I really like that the Ant-Man bathroom was shaped like a giant toilet paper roll. Conversely, I also really liked the bathroom. I believe it was Muppets fan or Lord Fosnader who did the toilet paper roll bathroom. I think it was Jokers who did the bathroom for the Flomcano. I like the idea that the theming for it was stickers and decals that kind of fall off.
Yes, that was very fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I also think Popstinction is a great name for Ice Age themed popsicle stand.
I also like the little kid logic of like just not knowing that the Ice Age and the dinosaurs were like historically apart from each other.
Yeah. It was a good bit.
All right.
And also I think it's fun to point out, and Opie helped me notice this before we start filming. Team Boats did California Adventure for both rounds, and Team Birds did a tropical theme for both rounds.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
I love seeing little themes like that in the village.
All right. So we will be discussing the sing-along songs. But before we do that, we have some business to get to.
Yes.
All right. First, the fun part.
I believe. What was that?
Well, first, the fun part, because we want to reveal who won the rivers, just in general.
So, Expedition 6 was won by Team Birds. Expedition 7 was won by Team Boats, which means we have a tie going into this final round. So that whatever team wins this expedition wins the whole river.
You know what? On that note, since we haven't talked about the sing-alongs yet, let's hold off on revealing the winner.
Okay. And then we'll do the winner, eliminations, golden door whip all at the end.
Yeah, that sounds better. I'm going to throw things into chaos now. Let's talk about the sing-alongs now. It just it feels... Because I'm kind of like second guessing myself right now. I'm like, it feels kind of weird to like eliminate someone and then be like, and let's talk about the project that they just worked on.
All right. Yeah, suspense. That's right, Priest. We're keeping y'all in suspense. Y'all never know what's happening. It's a mystery.
All right. So the sing-along projects, a project that's near and dear to my heart. As a small child, I watched that Disneyland Fun VHS tape probably more than any other single piece of media in my childhood. I'm not even exaggerating at all. That thing was just constantly on rotation. It's what got me into Disney parks to begin with. Like, that thing is like, it's a pivotal piece of forming me into the weird freak of a person that I am today.
I get that. I didn't myself actually have any of them, but at friends' houses we would watch them. My cousin had the Disneyland Fun one, so I watched that a lot growing up. Always great, and it was nice seeing. This is another round that was inspired by you guys. It wasn't the initial plan, but after seeing multiple people respond when I mentioned the water park one in the water park round, seeing Professor Owl be used in the Epcot project.
Yeah.
And I think another round, someone else referenced the sing along. Like, you know what?
And then I referenced Sebastian's Caribbean Jamboree.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
People liked these.
Which is technically not a part of the Disney sing-alongs line. Fun fact.
Yes, it's the Mickey's Fun song, something like that. I
Something
learned that
weird
one
like that,
for this project.
Same thing for the that weird circus one. That's not technically a sing-along either.
Yeah. But then they re-released them as sing-along, so they kind of are.
And then the Disneyland Fun one they re-released, and they had the subtitle of "It's a Small World," even though "It's a Small World" is literally like 1/12 of that whole thing.
You know what, Picron? Maybe there'll be an opportunity for Rockwall in the finale. Who knows?
You know, you could have just made the sing-along all about rock walls. Like that was an option.
Sing-along.
Okay, oh my god. Just imagine like a Rockwall sing-along song, and like all of the songs are either about rock and roll or rock climbing or so like let's see, you have like Rocky Mountain High, you've got I Want to Rock and Roll All Night. I
like the pictures all sung by the same guy climbing the same wall. At the end of the video, he's just we will rock you.
Oh my god.
And then he goes to clap and falls. That's it.
Perfect.
You're right, Monroe Red. It would be a bolder choice.
They did get some weird themes though, man. That circus tape it's freaking weird. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Of all the parks in all the world, they did Disneyland, all of Disney World, the water parks, and also Yacht and Beach Club, and the campground.
Yep. I believe technically Disneyland Paris has one too, or am I totally making that up?
Yes and no. They did a shot-for-shot remake of Disneyland Fun.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And while there is an English version of it, on the 50th anniversary DVD, or the 50th anniversary, the Happiest Celebration on Earth re-release of Disneyland Fun on DVD, if you turn the language to French, you get the Paris version. That's not like an advertised feature. That's just a thing that happens.
Okay, I've got one more Disney sing-along fun fact, and then we'll break down the actual projects, all right?
Okay.
So, as a kid, one of the last sing-along tapes that I remember my mom buying for me, and this was probably when I was about 9 or 10, so I was starting to grow out of it a little bit, was the Mulan one. What song was headlining the Mulan sing-along?
I'm gonna go with Girl Worth Fighting For.
It's fucking Honor to Us All. Isn't that the most random out of all the Mulan songs, all of them, you go with
Honor. Like lend itself to a theme.
Right. It makes no sense. That's always perplexed me. That's seriously always perplexed me. I mean, not to mention, you have like the ultimate Disney sing-along song in that movie with "I'll Make a Man Out of You." I mean, that song has got to be like the number one karaoke pick for a Disney song, right? There's no way it's not.
If it might not be the number one, but it's definitely up there. Might have even had that seat before Frozen came out. I remember being at the engineering campus one day, like 3 a.m. doing work in the computer lab. back when I was studying mechanical engineering, and someone played that song and was like, all right, guys, well, here at 3 a.m., time to get pumped up.
Oh, hell, dude, unironically, if someone were to do that, I would get pumped.
Yeah.
I really would.
If it was any other song, I think I would have said it's 3 a.m. I think I am legally allowed to murder you for this.
But since it's that song...
Yeah, everyone's into it.
That's great. All right, Pix, yeah, it is the first song in the movie, technically.
Yeah.
All right, we've also got Slasher Fred, who is not a part of the Armchair Imagineering community. As far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong, if that's like, if you are someone who's part of the Imagineering community.
Space
as far as
Mountain's double, I don't know.
But that's okay. Slasher Fred, if you want to know what we're talking about here, I do have links to the projects in the description. So, yeah, just feel free to check those out. All right. So, yeah, let's break it down. The first thing I want to talk about is the really interesting way in which both teams went about doing this, where one team did a more detailed video and a less detailed write-up, and then another team did less detailed video, way more detailed write-up.
Yeah. Really interesting dichotomy.
Personally, I think that the video for the Alani project captured the vibe of a sing-along ad perfectly.
It was perfect.
And I thought that it was really creative of them to include the actual tech stuff as a Wikipedia article. I don't think I've ever actually seen someone do that, but it is...
Right?
It's a very clever way to just be like, yeah, here's all the utilitarian stuff that we kind of need to include, but is kind of boring. So I really appreciated that. But at the same time, I really, really like the California Adventure one, too. I think, honestly, low-key, I think the fucking smartest thing in the whole California Adventure thing was Lizzie McGuire. Honestly, I feel like she fit in like a goddamn glove. They would absolutely do something like that back in the day. Corporate synergy, Eisner era. I love it. I mean, and every single time that she's included in the tape is like, yes, that is where a character like that would go in a sing-along tape. It was just freaking inspired.
I read through their project, and I'm just like, am I gaslighting myself into believing this existed? Because I picture it that clearly as like a thing. I think I watched this in 2001.
Oh my god. Well, you know what I definitely did watch in 2001 was the preview of California Adventure with Colin Mockery. Oh man,
a classic.
Good times.
I didn't see it back then. I saw the very first video I ever did was California Adventure, and I did so much research on it, and it made me so happy seeing all this old California Adventure stuff. And I saw that
California Adventure like pre-opening day special might be one of the best park promotions they've ever done.
It really is. I
mean, and honestly, they made the park look decent. It doesn't look amazing, but it looks decent. It looks better than it actually was on opening day.
Did you see what Perkron posted? Can we put that on screen?
Perkron, I also watched The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring in 2001.
Yeah.
Among other things.
Anything in particular on like September of that year?
Okay. I'm not even going to touch that.
Anyways, yes, 2001 Space Odyssey was what I was talking about space. But yeah, no,
are you young enough? Are you old enough to remember pre 9/11? Yes,
like a little bit.
Yeah, so am I, and it's weird. It's weird to think about. It's like, yeah, for about 10 years there, Americans didn't fucking hate each other.
Less. But anyways, preview special.
Yes.
It was great. It was fantastic. California Adventure had all kinds of really great things like that and promo videos that made us feel so real there.
Totally. I will say, as a kind of a snob when it comes to 60s Beach Boys type music. I don't think the song selection was the best. It was fine. I think y'all could have gotten a little bit more creative. Like, give me a Hotel California with slightly revised lyrics. Stuff like
They
that.
had talked about that, actually, and I
Really?
thought that would have been a fun addition. But
I
they
think that would have been a
tried to err
really
side
fun
caution.
addition. I don't know. Like, it just feels like the songs were a little... I'll say this much. I'm going to go ahead and just reveal that officially I think that the Alani project should be the winner. I don't know about you. We'll get there.
Mhm.
I think one of the big reasons for that is that I think the track list for Alani is like spot on. I feel like it flows together really well. I feel like it uses a mix of tropical themed IPs in a really natural way. Yeah, Hotel California is not a kid. Is not.
It's definitely not a kid's song.
Revise the lyrics, though.
I don't know how you could
That's what I'm
revise
saying.
the lyrics. I'm sure there's a kids bop version of it somewhere. I would say whether it's that one or not. Oh yeah, Dreams What Made It. The Liz McGuire movie was 2003, sadly. But the set list for Alani was definitely the better set list.
Yeah.
I felt California Adventure, while it was still a good set list, needed like one or two more songs that felt more Disney or felt more iconic.
Or more California.
Yeah.
I did like the addition of the Country Bears, though.
That was really fun. The Country Bears and the Muppets were both great picks.
Uh-huh. The Muppets also, yes.
Yeah. I was thinking instead of the first opening number, I forget what it even was. Maybe it could have been, since it's their road trip to California Adventure, you could have done the road trip song from Goofy Movie.
Oh, that's a good idea. That's especially because you start in Toontown anyways.
Yeah, which I think was a great setup, by the way.
Uh-huh.
It's a good way
it also kind of calls to mind the weird ass original commercials where all the characters are like looking over the fence, like what's going on over there.
I used to love those.
And then just the original teaser trailer where it's just like, oh my god, this park's gonna be fucking amazing. The actual mountain is gonna roar at you.
Yeah. They made it so cool looking.
They seriously should just, like, if they really want to revitalize DCA, actually make that damn bear mouth an animatronic.
That would be insane. Even if it's just moving the mouth up and down, an animatronic that scale. Kids Bop did not do Hotel California, but they do California Girls.
Okay, California Girls, I don't even really feel like you need the Kids Bop that.
No, not the Beach Boys one. The
Muppets fan, I will say, I do think it would have been smarter for you guys to set this in 2004. Because you know what would have been a fucking absolutely perfect attraction to tie into Hotel California that happened to open in 2004? Okay. Playhouse Disney live on stage! No, I'm just kidding. Tower of Terror, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could have added Tower of Terror, yeah. And I think maybe the logic, what you could have done for the logic of that is like, Tower of Terror was very much put into that park to like boost the image. And you could basically just say that this tape is like an extension of that. Yeah. It's like, hey, we know the first version sucked, but come see all the cool shit.
That would have made sense. That would have worked. Although I would have missed the detail of this being lost, unreleased media that they didn't release because they saw California Adventure and were embarrassed by it.
That's true. That's true.
And I feel like that framing device of the lost, unreleased media, I think that really helped sell this one, though.
That's a good point. Although they could have just did the whole thing where it's like, because this actually really did happen. Once California, once Tower of Terror opened, it definitely wasn't enough. It absolutely wasn't enough. So they could have just been like, oh shit, it's not enough, and we really hyped ourselves up now.
Yeah.
Like, that
They
park
could
did
they
not
could have made
become
that
what
work.
it became until Buena Vista Street and Cars Land. Up until Buena Vista Street and Cars Land, that park was like a very, very seldomly visited park for the general population going to Disneyland.
It was not popular, no. But while we're talking about Hotel California and Tower Terror, I don't know if Pergron's still here, but I think it was Pergron. Did Hotel California Tower Terror for one little spark, and that was amazing.
Oh, that sounds
A
amazing.
little off topic. It was, I think that was Pergron's first game, and it's just like I saw, I was like, oh, he's gonna be really good here.
Indeed.
Yeah.
All right. So, any other notes on this project?
I don't have much else to say about the California Adventure one. Overall, I really loved it. Oh, hey, we haven't even talked about the song yet. Architectural Guinea Pig.
Oh, of course.
Made an original song. It was fantastic.
You know what? And it's a tough project to judge because that is another element that kind of pushes that team over. So,
oh yeah,
honestly, Pie, personal, I'm just going to go ahead and just like that. Like, that's probably the main reason why I'm rooting for Alani, right?
Yeah, no, I understand
that. If it wasn't for the fact that I'm so emotionally attached to Stitch that I literally got him tattooed on my body, it would be a very close race, and I do not envy you for having to make this decision.
I understand that, and I fully respect that. I don't remember if I said in the review or in the results post I typed up. This was a very, very close round. These are two of my favorite projects I've ever seen.
And just, you have not announced the winner, right?
No, I have not.
All right.
I have it up so that way that and the next prompt and all that's ready for me to just click on as we go. And Space, since Pergron doesn't remember it, I can lie about it. The ride vehicle was a rock wall. Rocketing up and down. It was not safe.
Oh my god. Fucking Rockwall ride vehicles.
Yeah, no,
I once had a dream that Knott's Berry Farm brought back Kingdom of the Dinosaurs in the form of like a giant roller coaster that went all over the park, and the actual coaster cars were just straight up like animatronic T-Rexes that were just like running all over the park. I will never forget that. That was so batshit of my brain to come up with something like that.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. Monroe Red, you are killing it with these puns tonight. I love it. But as far as other things to say about the California Adventure video, I can't think of anything else. Now we make sure to shout out how good the song was. Minor issues here or there, like the transition to and from the California Dreamin segment being a bit rough. Or very, very slightly, maybe one line too much of dialogue from the Muppet section. But like, it was great. They did great. Yeah, What If Season 2 has to pick up the Rockwall prompt slack now that I'm dropping the
God. I mean, I'll say what I said during my feedback. I am just god awful at rock walls. I cannot do them. It's almost physically impossible for me.
I've never been good at them.
It's like a combination of like nerves, and I've got big ass feet, so my feet do not stay on those little nubs very well. Yeah, they're very much not for me.
And it's never fun that the rock wall is also on display for the entire everyone around you to see.
And there's like small children that are like way, way, way better at it than you are.
Oh yeah. Anyways, for the Alani result, like you said, I think that was a better trailer. Although I don't know if I specifically shouted out, the video for the other project by Space was still really good.
It was really good.
I might say the Alani trailer was the better of the two if I'm comparing them head to head, but it doesn't mean it's a bad.
I think the difference is that the Alani trailer feels like it legitimately could have come from Disney. I think that's the difference.
That feels like a real trailer, whereas Space's video with California Adventure feels like here's the vibe of what we're going for, which is also really great. because it did give me the vibe. I felt like I was just watching the thing.
Right.
But that and the Wikipedia, I think Red did the Wikipedia page, looked so good and like captured the vibe so well with the writing too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, no, I loved the Alani project. Only minor notes on that one was some inconsistencies with like dates here or there.
Right. Right. Sure.
Do you have anything else to say about either project, or we go into results?
Let's do results.
All right. Team Boats did win. I just went with the California Adventure. I almost burst out laughing when you said the other Team Birds.
You know what? It's totally fair. I definitely think Team Boats had a lot more detail to theirs, whereas I feel like Team Birds, the video was awesome, but I feel like most of their project kind of like rested on the strength of that video. And like I said, stuff like including Lizzie McGuire, stuff like the whole like storyline of the lost media. Yeah, I totally like. Again, personal preference would be Stitch because
Which I totally get.
But
and they did have the stronger soundtrack too.
Yeah.
There was just one too many like little inconsistencies, and when it was this close, it was coming down to just nitpicks.
Sure, makes sense. All right, so
fantastic walk.
That means that Team Boats has won the whole river, right?
Team Boats has won the whole river now.
Right. So let's before we get to elimination, let's get the MVP thing out of the way. Folks, we might bring back MVP voting in the future, but it really hasn't gotten a lot of attention. Like I bet if I didn't say anything, none of you would have even cared.
We did have a vote by Ace already.
Oh, we do? Okay. Well, Ace, I'm terribly sorry. It's not going to count for this round. So, Pi, what we're going to do, because we're covering two projects at once, and because the MVP is it's not really getting a ton of engagement, OB actually suggested that we do like a poll on the site or a Google form or something. We might try that once I get back from Vegas. I'm going to be leaving for Vegas in a week. Pi, you'll have to do the next podcast without me.
Yes, if anyone's free, probably next Wednesday, and would like to be on the podcast, message me, let me know.
And next Wednesday, I'll literally be on a plane.
Liability reasons. Yeah.
All right. So, with that in mind, everyone, Pi, who was the? Let's roll out. First of all, I believe that I counted the last project into the draft for the project leader or for the MVP, right?
Yes.
That would be Project
Expedition 6.
Yes. So we're looking for MVP players to add for Expedition 7 and 8. So yes. Who are the lucky people?
Well, let's see. 6 was by Birds. 7 and 8 was both boats. So for 7, it was Space Mountain.
Okay.
And it was Theme Park Priest for 8.
Okay, Space and Priest. All right. So yeah, for the time being, we're gonna have the MVP basically be the project leader / skipper for the winning team. That's how we're gonna do it for the time being.
Yeah.
And let's see. I'm trying to find. Pi riff for a second while I find the fantasy
so here's
stuff.
Some other ideas for Rapid River expeditions that did not happen. One of them, I think I used this for the one sentence competition because I knew even back then that this is too small for this. You know those little details they do on the floor in the parks, like the peanut shells in the Dumbo Storybook Circus? I was just gonna have the whole team walk on one floor detail. I thought that one might be slightly too small.
That's awesome. I feel like that might be a good project for that. That's definitely a good like one sentence project.
I'm pretty sure I did it on the last episode while I was still prepping this because I thought, no, that's not gonna work. I can't have 6 people design a peanut in the ground. This is what you can really cost now. You gotta sell merchandise of it. Disney probably
Oh, God.
Side note, I can't believe no one's ever designed the lounge fly unless I've just missed it. They make so many of them. There's like 8 lounge flies a day releasing by Disney. Is that as big a thing in California as it is here?
No, because I don't even know what you're talking about.
There's these little tiny backpacks with mostly Disney, but they do deals with other parks too. They're really good.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like,
They're somewhat popular in California. They're probably more popular in Florida, I would imagine.
That makes sense. Spirit jerseys too, but I've seen Spirit jerseys. Another project I almost did was Galaxy's Edge, where you had to choose one of the coasts. And this was also almost in the Choices River. I almost used it there and almost used it here, where you would have to keep the rides the same. It had to still be with minor changes, Rise of Resistance and Smuggler's Run. And then you have to change the land around it so it's not a clone of the same land. So if you were doing 2 separate Star Wars lands, but you had to keep the same rides, what would be a new Star Wars land? But I thought that might be a little...
That's definitely...
possibly a little too heady. Hippo, Splatter, Loungefly, yes, Playground. That's what we should have done.
Okay, so draft update. With the MVPs, Space was on your team and Priest is on my team. So I am down to 10 points and you are down to 24.
We are getting close.
Now the question is, are you going to rig this elimination to make sure it's someone from my team?
Hang on, let me just look up who's on whose team. I'm kidding. I mentioned this before. I intentionally am trying not to remember who's on whose team, just so it won't even subconsciously influence me. Bribes will influence me, though. I'm open to bribery. But anyways, I should not be stalling anymore. It's 14th place, the first elimination of the night, possibly only elimination. Sadly, going to have to say goodbye to T Cool. I'm gonna miss T Cool. They've been a strong player, but they said themselves they just kind of haven't been here for the Rapid River. I would have to double check the Epcot Festival, but I don't think they had a part in the final presentation on 2 out of the 3 of them, if not all 3. And it's a shame to see them go, but that happens to all of us. We just get busy with other things.
That's definitely not who I was expecting to go. I'll tell you who I was expecting off air. You can tell me how off base I was with that. Okay. But guess what? He is indeed on your team. I'm so sorry. Which brings your total. It's literally 38-10.
All right, so, second elimination. Yeah. Everyone on Tiki's team.
God. So you did propose to me off air. You did propose to me once we hit final 8, we do a redraft. I propose let's keep that idea. I don't necessarily want to throw away the points, not because I'm winning, but just because I'm
we don't want the whole season for
yeah, we need to follow through on it. But I'm definitely
just keeping this going. There's still a lot of players left in the game.
No, that's true. That's true. We'll see. We'll see what happens once we reach final 8. There's still 5 eliminations before then. I'm bad at math.
So there's only 4 expeditions left in the game.
Ooh.
The next 2 are part of the 4th River, and that is the end of the main game. At the end of the 4th River, I believe there's going to be about 12 people, give or take. And then we cut down to the 8 finalists for one expedition, and then cut down from there to the last final 3.
Okay, but I ask you, is everyone going to have an individual placement?
Yeah, since we're doing the draft, I'm going to make sure everyone has individual placements.
Okay.
So that way we can keep the draft going and have fun with that. But all of y'all have been doing great, so I really have no idea who the finalists are going to be. Most of the time, by the time you get to this point in the game, you can guess all but maybe one of the finalists. I'm
seriously getting kind of sentimental about the fact that the game is like coming to an end.
I know. The end snuck up pretty fast.
It really did, yeah.
But I mean, we still have 4 rounds left. That's a month.
True. And yes, Red, Team OB is still standing.
Team OB is still standing. Great song. Now I've been teasing that there might be a second elimination.
Oh no, OB!
Uh-oh. OB died. That's tragic.
Well, folks, we just witnessed the canonical death of Orange Bird. Oh, never mind. He's back. He's okay. I do believe in Orange Bird. I do believe in Orange Bird.
Yay! Claps in the chat. There's a clap emoji, I'm sure. Now they all in this right space.
Do you know what Kick-Assy is?
Second elimination.
Oh yes, yes.
The reason why I was keeping that ambiguous is because I wasn't sure how people would be responding to the rapid rounds. I didn't want to eliminate too many people on something that the players just weren't vibing with. It really was perfect timing. I'm not going to do the double elimination. Not because y'all weren't vibing with it. You responded so well to this. But I'm going to give a heads up. I don't know if he's watching this. To one of the players, Walt Wiz. I'm giving you another chance because you, despite not being super active early on, these last 2 rounds, you've been stepping up. You've been getting involved. So instead of doing a second elimination now, I'm going to let you keep going, keep that momentum going. But to balance the teams out, and because I think you're going to vibe with them, I'm moving Walt Wiz over the Team Birds.
All right.
So no second elimination, but Team Boats is losing Walt Wiz, but Team Birds is gaining Walt Wiz.
Yeah. Okay.
And Obi is back. Yes. That would have been really bad if that was an elimination. If I was just laughing and be like, bye, space.
Oh, God. Okay. Anything else we need to attend to tonight?
The Golden Dole Whip.
Oh, right. Of course.
Coveted prize.
Duh.
So, Golden Dole Whip. Not actually made of gold, just flavored to taste like gold. Whoever wins this is in the final 8.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It is someone who it's someone who was nominated by the fellow players and came from the winning team of the river. So someone from Team Boats.
Okay.
Should I keep building up the dramatic tension? Are we good?
Do the whole sea press, dude. As much dramatic tension as you can do.
See this person on the Imagineering forum. They have a username. They make posts. They're very good at what they do. And as soon as we get back from this word from our sponsor about Floam, no, I'm kidding. It was Architectural Guinea Pig.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense.
Got the most nominations from his team. And also, I 100% agreed. He's been bringing it, especially with the Rapid River round. He's got real talent with pluses and presentations and things like that. And a lot of what's been pushing him over the edge is the little things that AGP has been throwing in there. So you are safe until the end of this river, and we go to the final 8. You're in the final 8.
And good news. Yeah. He's on your fantasy team.
Ooh.
So that's one person.
And I win the Golden Dole Whip. AGP awards me -80 points for the fantasy draft.
Oh my god.
That's part of the Golden Doorway's power. That is the law of the... No.
You know what? I'll give you 10.
I'll take it. No one say no.
Fuck it. Why not? I figure because MVP is worth 5, this is obviously more valuable than MVP. So,
yeah.
All right, I'll give you 10.
I just want this to be at the end of the game, and I win by less than 10 points because you just said, "Yeah, fuck it."
Right. All right. Ooh, I like that Obi's already thinking ahead. We got the final 8.
So that's the big thing about this next river is this is your chance. This is the last chance because after these next 2 expeditions, we're going down to that final 8. Time to give it your all. And do you know what the next river's theme is?
What?
Time. We're going to the Times River. Each round's gonna be in a specific year in the past.
Pi, if you'll allow me to get into Jurassic Park River Adventure mode for just a second here.
Yeah.
Time. The ever-flowing river. Come with us now to a time before man, where dinosaurs walked the earth. Welcome to Jurassic Park. All right, yeah. Oh,
I really like your blown-out speaker voice.
Oh, thank you. Time, the ever-flowing river is seriously one of the all-time great first lines in any theme park attraction for my money.
Oh, it's fantastic.
All right. Okay, so I think that's about it, right?
I think that's about it, yeah. I'm going to be posting everything pretty soon. And then... it's the police box, Doctor Who. It's a TARDIS.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Which they just put a TARDIS in Disneyland, and I'm so jealous.
Nice. All right.
I'll see you all in the distant year of 2018.
Oh dear God, 2018, before the pandemic. Oh man. You know what's funny is that I feel like, we were just talking about like pre 9/11, but it's like now there very much is that cutoff. Like things fucking changed after 2020.
Oh yeah.
Isn't life fun, kids? Have a good night, y'all.